Today I'm going to talk about the B minor blues, and I'm also going to talk about how to take a basic blues box, B minor, and expand it to other string groups and to other chord forms. Okay, so I'll just start off with the top 4 strings, B minor 7th chord, just barring, and then occasionally I'll throw in this B bass, either with my thumb, or I'll just cross over here. So the first basic scale is here, 10th fret, D, B, A, F sharp, E, D. Right, so that everybody kind of knows that one. Everybody's been playing for a while. So we'll take that and we'll take it through a basic blues. Okay, B minor 7 chord, and then we're going to move up to here, E minor 7th. Right here, G, E, D, B, A, G, E. E minor, so you can play your E bass here, or you can play open, and then back to B minor. D, B, A, B. Okay, then the F sharp minor, 14th fret. A, F sharp, E, C sharp, B, A, F sharp. And then to the 4 chord, E minor, G, E, D, B, A, G, E, D, B, and back to B minor. And then every so often at the ends of the choruses I'll throw in either this turnaround chord, F sharp 7 sharp 9, F sharp A sharp E A, or I'll throw in this chord here, F sharp 7 sharp 5, F sharp E, A sharp D. Okay, so we'll take that scale. Now we'll also include the scale position that's right below that one, starting from the notes of the chord, B A, F sharp E, D, B, A, F sharp. So that's also B minor pentatonic, but right below that B minor 7th chord. Okay, do the same thing for the E. There's your E minor 7th chord, and then here's the scale position right below. E, D, B, A, G, E, D, B. Either low bass or fingered bass, back to B minor. So I'm just kind of doing a loose interpretation of the blues. B, A, F sharp, E, D, B, A, F sharp. Okay, now I'm going to go to the F sharp minor chord, the 5 chord at the 14th fret, F sharp, C sharp, A, E. Throw in an F sharp bass here, or you can throw in a low F sharp here. F sharp, E, C sharp, B, A, F sharp, E, C sharp. Then back to the E1, E minor, and then back to B. I just do a brief example where I'll kind of do a lick out of this position, and then I'll do a lick out of this position. So a lot of times when I'm doing a demonstration like this, I might not necessarily do a strict 12-bar blues. I might hold this chord a little longer, this chord a little bit longer, and then this chord a little bit longer. So it'll be either like a 14-bar or a 16-bar blues. Okay, here we go, B minor. Okay, next scale position. One chord again. Lower position. E minor. Lower chord, lower position. Back to B minor. F sharp. I'll hold the 5 chord a little longer. Is that lower position? position, E minor. Lower position, B minor. Lower position. Now here's where the fun begins. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this same chord voicing and I'm just going to move everything over to the middle 4 strings. So you're going to have the notes B, F sharp, D, A. Okay, and I'll make a link in the description to a PDF that you'll be able to get on my website. Okay, so we're going to take that, and now what's going to happen, we're going to play the same notes from the blues box. We're just going to play them on the inner 4 strings. Do that one more time. Blues box. Just transfer it over. Okay, so the E minor. I'm just going to go lower just to give it like a kind of a bluesier sound. So here's the same blues box notes: G, E, D, B, A, G. All right, so it sounds the same notes. And then back to B minor. See how those are exactly the same notes as the blues box, just in a different spot. So depending on what kind of guitar you're playing, you might find that sometimes you prefer this sound to the blues box. Okay, then the F sharp minor chord, F sharp, C sharp, A, E on the inner strings. Okay, here's the blues notes in the blues box: A, F sharp, E, C sharp, B, A, F sharp. See, same notes. Then E minor, and then back to. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'll go through a B minor blues, and I'll kind of do licks that are similar to the blues box, but I'll just do them out of this shifted over blues box. Okay, here we go. So B minor. That's just the same as the blues box. E minor. I'll throw in the low E. Minor, throw in that low B, F sharp minor, so that's exactly the same as the blues box, just moved over. E minor. So a lot of the same licks that you play in the blues box, you can back to B minor. There's your turnaround chord. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing, go from the top 3 strings, middle 3 strings. Now I'm going to go to the bottom 3 strings. Now, so this is going to sound maybe a little too thick on certain guitars, certain instances. So you'll have to kind of experiment with it to see what the proper context is. Perhaps maybe in a jazz context you would like this sound. So the B minor on the B minor 7th on the lower strings is B, F sharp, D, A. Right, kind of a nice, kind of thick sound there. Okay, and then your blues box here. D, B, A, F sharp, E, D, B, A, B. So that's exactly the same. I'll kind of jump back and forth between that and the blues box so you can see the similarity. D, B. Blues box here. One more time there. So B minor 7th chord, shifted blues box, and then B minor. so now I'm just going to move it to the other chords. Now the E minor, G, E, D, B, A, G. Compare that to the blues box. E minor, B minor, D, B, F sharp, E, D, 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 D. Compare that to the blues box. Okay, now go F sharp minor, A, F sharp, E, C sharp, E, A. I'll compare that to the blues box. E minor. See, it's exactly the same lick, you just played in a different spot. And then some kind of turnaround. Okay, so I'll do kind of like a little blues progression based off of this. Now, another option here, if for some reason you don't like the sound of that flatted 7 on the bottom, you can also do the same concept, just play it as a triad. B, F sharp, D. E triad, E, B, G. B minor triad, F sharp minor triad, E minor triad, E, B, G. And then back to B minor. Okay, let me go back to the middle strings. Okay, so if you end up getting the PDFs that I have written out about these scale forms, you'll also see that in addition to this blues box, I also do the position that's right below the blues box. Okay, so that's going to be for the B minor, E, A, F sharp, E, D, B. So these are just kind of just sitting right around the chord shape. E minor, E, D, B, A, G, E, D, B. Okay, one more time. Back for the E minor and then to the B minor. And F sharp minor, F sharp, E, C sharp, B, A. And then back to B minor. Okay, so I'll do an example where I'll go through a blues progression and I'll do a lick with this pattern, and then I'll do a lick with this pattern, kind of like what I did in the beginning of the video. Here comes B minor blues. Lower pattern. Okay, back to the B minor. Okay, E minor, I'll throw in the low E. Lower pattern. Back to B minor. There's your blues box, just moved over. Lower. F sharp minor. Lower pattern, E minor. So I'm just kind of extending out the blues form. Lower pattern, and back to B minor. Lower pattern. Turnaround chord. Okay, so There's a lot of different things you can do with this. I'll do the same thing on these lower strings. So I'll go from this pattern here, which we saw as kind of the blues box moved across the fretboard, and then I'll do this pattern right below it, which would sound good for kind of more like a rhythm riff, I guess. Okay, then the E minor will be here. E, D, B, A, E, D, B. So that's the pattern just kind of right below that chord, and then back to B. And then F sharp. Here's the pattern, F sharp, E, C sharp, E, F sharp. And then the E. And then back to B minor. Right. So I have all these patterns written out, and I also have the chord shapes written out. So B minor here, B minor here, and then B minor here, and then I have everything transferred. Okay, so let me do an example using now these two lower patterns, this one here, and then this one here. And I'll take it through some blues changes. Okay, so I'm kind of purposely not throwing in a lot of chromaticism, not throwing in a lot of bending, but you can certainly do all of that. Okay, here it comes, B minor. Lower pattern. The low blues box. E minor. Lower pattern. B minor. Lower pattern. F sharp. Lower pattern. E minor. Lower pattern. I think I'll do one more example here before I end the video. So now what I'll do is I'll just kind of randomly just go on the B minor chord. I just kind of riff on the B minor, and I'll use both of the patterns, the one that's above and below the pattern, and I'll just throw in some chromaticism, and just so you can kind of see how you can make this a little bit more interesting. So I'll just riff on B minor. I'll go from this chord to this chord to this chord, and then use each of the patterns on either side of the chord. So. See what I did there? I basically just did the same lick in all the different places. So this is a good way to kind of take any licks that you know and just kind of move them around and see if you can find some different ways of expressing yourself in the blues. Now there you have to kind of decide, do you want to bend downwards, or do you want to go up? And that'll just be a personal preference. Right, and so on. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that, the tutorial about taking your B minor blues, different shapes on different strings, the blues box, and different scale patterns to expand your blues playing. Okay, thanks for watching.